Hey everyone, welcome back to Professor Popcorn, your go-to spot for all things Marvel. Today, we're diving into the top 10 Marvel movies of all time. From epic battles to emotional story arcs, we're taking a closer look at the movies that have defined the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's get into it. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Directed by James Gunn, this movie took the MCU to cosmic heights with its humor, unforgettable soundtrack, and a team of unlikely heroes. The story follows Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, who gets caught up in a galactic heist when he steals a mysterious orb. What he doesn't know is that the orb contains an infinity stone that could destroy entire worlds. Quill teams up with Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana, a fierce assassin with a tragic past, Drax the Destroyer, portrayed by Dave Bautista, who seeks vengeance for his family's death, Rocket, a genetically modified raccoon voiced by Bradley Cooper, and Groot, a tree-like being voiced by Vin Diesel, whose only line is "I am Groot." Together they form the Guardians of the Galaxy, a group of misfits who eventually learn to trust each other. They must stop Ronan the Accuser, a Kree zealot, from using the orb's power to wipe out entire civilizations. With its quirky characters and epic space battles, Guardians of the Galaxy became an instant fan favorite, offering a blend of heart, humor, and a killer soundtrack featuring classics like Hooked on a Feeling and Ain't No Mountain High Enough. At number 9, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, directed by John Watts, which delivers the ultimate crossover event for Spider-Man fans. The story picks up right after Far From Home, with Peter Parker's secret identity exposed to the entire world by Mysterio. Now Peter, played by Tom Holland, struggles with balancing his life as a teenager with the chaos that comes with being Spider-Man. Desperate to make people forget his identity, Peter seeks help from Doctor Strange, portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch. But when a spell goes wrong, villains from across the multiverse, like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Electro, start showing up in his world. In a twist that had fans cheering in theaters, the film introduces two alternate universe Spider-Men, played by Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, who join forces with Tom Holland's Peter Parker to take down these foes. Each Spider-Man brings his own backstory and emotional moments, from Andrew's redemption for Gwen's death to Tobey's mentorship role. The film balances action, nostalgia, and emotional depth, culminating in Peter's decision to sacrifice his personal life to save the multiverse. No Way Home is a love letter to Spider-Man fans, delivering epic battles, heartfelt farewells, and a deeper look into the responsibility that comes with great power. Coming in at number 8 is Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler, a groundbreaking film that redefined the superhero genre. Set in the hidden, technologically advanced African nation of Wakanda, the story follows T'Challa, played by the late Chadwick Boseman, as he returns home to become king after his father's death in Captain America: Civil War. But T'Challa's rule is challenged by Eric Killmonger, portrayed by Michael B. Jordan, who believes that Wakanda should use its resources to liberate oppressed people worldwide. Killmonger's personal vendetta and his complex motivations make him one of the most compelling villains in the MCU. With stunning visuals, a rich story, and a deep focus on African culture and traditions, Black Panther introduced audiences to a world filled with rich lore, advanced technology like vibranium, and unforgettable characters like Shuri, Okoye, and Nakia. It's a film that balances intense action scenes with a profound message about heritage, identity, and the responsibilities of leadership. Black Panther was more than just a superhero movie. It became a cultural phenomenon and a symbol of representation in cinema. Number 7 goes to Captain America, The Winter Soldier, a game-changing entry directed by the Russo brothers that shifted the tone of the MCU with its political thriller style and intense action sequences. The film finds Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, struggling to adjust to life in the 21st century while working as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., But when S.H.I.E.L.D. is compromised by Hydra, Steve discovers a conspiracy that runs deep within the organization. His journey is made even more personal when he faces the Winter Soldier, a deadly assassin with a metal arm, who turns out to be his best friend, Bucky Barnes, played by Sebastian Stan. Brainwashed and controlled by Hydra, Bucky's presence forces Steve to confront the loss of his past and the hope of saving his old friend. Alongside Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson, and Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, portrayed by Anthony Mackie, Steve takes on the corrupt forces within S.H.I.E.L.D. in a film filled with high-stakes action, from a thrilling highway fight to a climactic battle on the helicarriers. The Winter Soldier redefined Captain America, turning him from a symbol of patriotism into a hero questioning the very system he once fought for. At number 6 is Thor Ragnarok, directed by Taika Waititi, a film that injected a new sense of humor and color into the Thor series. After losing his hammer, Mjolnir, to his long-lost sister Hela, the goddess of death played by Cate Blanchett, Thor finds himself stranded on the junkyard planet of Sakaar. There, he is captured by Valkyrie, played by Tessa Thompson, and forced into gladiator battles organized by the eccentric Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum. To his surprise, he faces off against the Hulk, his old friend and fellow Avenger. Their dynamic provides some of the film's funniest and most heartwarming moments, as they reconnect amidst chaos. Meanwhile, Hela takes over Asgard, and Thor must rally a new team, including Hulk, Valkyrie, and his mischievous brother Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, to take back his home and stop Ragnarok, the prophesied destruction of Asgard. With its vibrant visuals, a retro sci-fi aesthetic, and witty dialogue, Thor Ragnarok is a wild ride that completely transformed Thor's character, making him more relatable and fun. It also set the stage for his journey in Avengers Infinity War. Cracking the top 5 is the movie that started it all, The Avengers. Directed by Joss Whedon, this film was a groundbreaking moment for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as it brought together Earth's mightiest heroes for the first time in a cinematic crossover event. The plot centers around Loki, Thor's adopted brother, who, after being banished from Asgard, returns with a vengeance. He steals the Tesseract, a powerful artifact capable of unleashing massive energy, and intends to use it to summon an alien army called the Chitauri to conquer Earth. In response, Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, initiates the Avengers Initiative, assembling a team of heroes to stop the impending threat. This team includes Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., Captain America, Chris Evans, Thor, Chris Hemsworth, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, and Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. Despite their clashing personalities and internal conflicts, the team eventually comes together in the film's iconic Battle of New York, fighting Loki and his army amid skyscrapers and city streets. The climax, with Iron Man's sacrifice play to take the nuclear missile into the wormhole, cements the Avengers as a cohesive unit. It's a perfect blend of action, humor, and character interactions, making the Avengers a milestone in the MCU and a must-watch for superhero fans. At number 4, it's the film that launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Iron Man. Directed by Jon Favreau, this movie turned Robert Downey Jr. into a household name and set the foundation for what would become the biggest film franchise of all time. The story follows Tony Stark, a genius billionaire and weapons manufacturer who is captured by a terrorist group in Afghanistan. During his captivity, Tony witnesses firsthand the destruction caused by his company's weapons. Injured and with shrapnel near his heart, he's kept alive by an electromagnet powered by a makeshift reactor. With the help of fellow captive Yinsen, Tony builds a primitive Iron Man suit to escape, vowing to change his ways and shut down his company's weapons division. Upon returning to the U.S., he perfects his suit into the red and gold armor that fans have come to know and love. transforming himself into Iron Man. But Tony's newfound sense of responsibility puts him at odds with his mentor, Obadiah Stane, who secretly plans to use the original design for his own gain. The final showdown between Tony and the Ironmonger armor set the tone for the MCU's blend of humor, high-tech action, and charismatic characters. Iron Man's journey from a self-absorbed playboy to a selfless hero laid the groundwork for a larger universe, ending with a game-changing post-credit scene where Nick Fury reveals the Avengers Initiative. Iron Man wasn't just a movie, it was the start of a phenomenon. Number 3 goes to Captain America, Civil War, directed by the Russo brothers. This film takes the relationships we've grown to love over the years and puts them to the ultimate test. The story begins with a mission gone wrong, leading to civilian casualties and prompting governments around the world to demand accountability from the Avengers. This leads to the Sokovia Accords, which would place the Avengers under UN oversight. This creates a deep divide between Tony Stark, who believes in government oversight to prevent future disasters, and Steve Rogers, who values personal freedom and believes the team should remain independent. Tensions escalate when Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, becomes a fugitive after being framed for a terrorist attack. Steve, seeing Bucky as a friend who can be redeemed, defies the authorities to protect him. This pits Steve's allies, like Sam Wilson, the Falcon, Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, and Clint Barton, Hawkeye, against Tony's side, including War Machine, Black Panther, and the newly introduced Spiderman, played by Tom Holland. The airport battle scene is a highlight, offering one of the most thrilling and emotional fights in MCU history. It features clever matchups, surprising friendships, and a glimpse of Ant-Man turning into Giant Man. But the real emotional core of the movie lies in the final confrontation, where Tony learns that Bucky, while under Hydra's control, was responsible for the death of his parents. The brutal fight between Tony, Steve, and Bucky ends with Steve dropping his shield, symbolizing the shattering of the Avengers. Civil War is a complex story about loyalty, guilt, and the struggle between freedom and control, leaving the MCU forever changed. Our runner-up is Avengers Infinity War. Directed by the Russo brothers, this film was a cinematic event like no other, bringing together nearly every hero from the MCU to face their greatest threat, Thanos, played by Josh Brolin. The plot centers on Thanos' quest to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, each representing a fundamental force in the universe. Thanos believes that by wiping out half of all life, he can restore balance and prevent overpopulation from destroying the universe. The Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and new allies like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man join forces to stop him, but they are spread across different battles, from the streets of New York to the wastelands of Titan and the fields of Wakanda. The film's structure allows for incredible team-ups, like Thor, Rocket, and Groot forging a new weapon, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Man taking on Thanos on his homeworld, and the Avengers leading a last stand in Wakanda. But despite their efforts, Thanos succeeds in assembling all 6 stones. The climactic snap, which results in half of all life, including heroes like Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange, disintegrating into dust, left audiences in shock. Infinity War is known for its intense pace, high-stakes drama, and the sense that no one is safe. It raised the bar for superhero storytelling, leaving fans eagerly awaiting the conclusion in Endgame. And at number 1, it's the epic conclusion to the Infinity Saga, Avengers Endgame. Directed by the Russo brothers, this film is an emotional roller coaster that wraps up over a decade of storytelling, bringing closure to many of the MCU's biggest characters. After the devastating events of Infinity War, the world is reeling from the loss of half of all life. The surviving Avengers, Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Bruce Banner, Thor, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, struggle to move on. When Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, returns from the quantum realm with a wild idea about time travel, the Avengers devise a plan to go back in time and retrieve the Infinity Stones before Thanos ever got his hands on them. This time heist allows fans to revisit iconic moments from previous films, like the Battle of New York and the events of Guardians of the Galaxy, providing nostalgia and character growth. But after collecting the stones, they face a time-traveling Thanos in a final epic battle. The climactic showdown sees Captain America wielding Mjolnir, proving himself worthy, and the arrival of every hero who was lost to the snap, leading to a massive battle that fans had dreamed of. In the end, it's Tony Stark who makes the ultimate sacrifice, using the Infinity Stones to defeat Thanos and save the universe, but at the cost of his own life. Steve Rogers, meanwhile, takes one last journey through time, returning to live the life he always wanted with Peggy Carter. Endgame is a film about loss, hope, and the power of friendship, delivering emotional payoffs and thrilling action. It's a love letter to the fans and a cinematic achievement that brought the Infinity Saga to a perfect close. So there you have it, our picks for the top 10 Marvel movies. Do you agree with our list, or did we miss your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Which hero story touched you the most, and who are you excited to see in Marvel's future? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell for more awesome content. Until next time, keep being super.